7 on the dot, I'm here. I hope everybody is ready for class today. How's everybody doing today? Oh yeah, let's go. Drum roll. Everybody, come on. Sign in. Good evening, everybody. How's everybody doing today? How is everybody doing? Ibukun, good evening. Since I'm on time today, I might as well, greet everybody, say how everybody's day has been. Good evening, Queen Yada. Hope you're doing well. Julia, good evening. Good evening, everybody. How's your day been? How's the week in general been? How's class been? How's everything really been? All right. Let's all settle in for class. Let's go. It's good to see. It's good to see everybody. Musim, wait, before I butcher somebody's name. Mosim Molua. Musim Molua. It's good to have everybody here. Morenike, Neka. Good evening, everybody. We always start in 5 minutes, but we always use our first 5 minutes to try and Mercy, thank you. Thank you very much. It's about 5 minutes in, so we want to use our first 5 minutes and just make sure that everybody is, settled in and getting ready for class. Good evening. Somebody should tell me how that day has been. My day was kind of good. My day was really good, actually. I'm not going to tell you guys why immediately. I'm sure some of you already know why. But at the end of the class, we can talk about that one. But how's everybody's day been? Hope you guys have made productive use of your day. Yeah, my day was good. Marvelous. My day was really good. Okay. Yeah. Good evening, everybody. I'm waiting for somebody that used to write, that is writing exam currently. I'm waiting for her. Once she comes, we start our class. Oh, we start our class. Emma, yeah, that's sorry about that. Yeah, that your class was stressful. Your day was stressful. Can enjoy yourself in class today. Yeah, like it's normal. Tell all your friends. Make sure you get across to everybody and tell everybody that hey, we're having class now. Tell all your friends already. After this week, next week we go into like our final week. We're going to our final week, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Final week. Wow, we've got at least 4 weeks left. It's good to see everybody. Good evening. Ukem. Is it Ukem? Yeah, Ukem, good evening. We're about to start in a few minutes' time. But now that we have a very good number of people here already, we'll soon get started. Just give everybody another 1 minute to get in, get settled down. Well, Eli could not come to class on time, unfortunately. Anyway, we'll start. Yeah, I've had a great day. We'll start now. We've already, we've run through our 5 minutes. We might as well start. Once again, hello guys. Once again, my name is Oladipo Losi. For those of you that don't know, which is unfortunately all of you know my name, so it's kind of moot at this point. But I'm your tutor as usual, and this is week 8, and we're going to be treating website copy. We've done a lot. See the person I was waiting for. I hope, Ella, I hope your exam went well today, because you are trying. You have exams, you're still coming for class, you're really trying. It's good to have everybody in. Like I said, we're in week 8, we're taking website copywriting. We've covered homepage and landing page copy. I think okay. So today we're covering product descriptions, call to action writing, then the copy editing process, and then we are done. As for proofreading techniques, like I've covered proofreading techniques in the previous, like some of my previous classes. There's nothing too strenuous with proofreading techniques. Maybe we'll just gloss over it at the end of the class, but that's not a hard one to cover. All right. Yes, Eli, it's good to hear that your exams were good today. At least they did not show you shege. All right, let's continue. So today is day 3. We're going to talk about what product descriptions are, how to write a call to action, and then we'll cover the copy editing process. That is what we're doing today. And then after that, you guys can go on and have the rest of your days to yourself. Like I said, evening classes, not like I said. This is our last class for today, for this week. We're going to cover a few things. After we cover that, questions. So make sure at the end of the class you write all of your questions, and by 8 o'clock we go on a break so that everybody can take their attendance. So let's get straight into it. All right, so I hope everybody's ready. I hope everybody's doing well. I hope everybody's ready, because today we are talking about product description. So what are product descriptions? Effective product descriptions can possibly lure potential customers. Good product descriptions can potentially influence a purchase decision. Great product descriptions can ultimately help improve conversion rates and increase sales, as well as boost your visibility and SEO on paid channels. So in essence, product descriptions are just the way you explain and describe a product. Usually that will be in a sales page, a landing page, the way you're able to describe what the product is, what it does, and how it can help your customer achieve whatever they want to do. Technical details, including use of power words, A/B tests. We're going to cover A/B tests this in the next final few weeks. Can be the difference between a potential buyer on your e-commerce website and those customers shopping at a competitor with similar products. So, what is product description? Sorry, breaking connection, but I'm back. So, like I was saying, what is product description? What is a product description? So, a product description is a form of marketing copy used to describe and explain the benefits of your product. In other words, it provides all the information and details of your product on your site. So, in this section today, we are focusing heavily on e-commerce, because e-commerce sites are where you as a copywriter make a good bit of your day-to-day. Let's say day-to-day. Easy to do, but very easy to miss. Like they say, anything that is easy to do is also very easy to miss and mess up. So these product details can be one sentence, a short paragraph, or bulleted. They can be serious, funny, or quirky. They can be located right next to or underneath the product titles and product images. They can be scannable selling points or have strong readability. Now, wherever the image is, wherever your content is posted, is not really where it is going. That's not really your problem, because you're not the one in charge of the website. You just write the copy, right? Especially for the product. But I think the most important thing you need to take away is that products, depending on what product you're selling, your target market, your target audience, and the person you're working for, so your clients, what do they want? Sometimes, you can lock heads with your clients. You can tell them this doesn't work, this could work, this doesn't work, this could work. But in essence, a large variety of things come into play when you are trying to write your product description. If you scroll through Amazon, you scroll through Jumia, 101 people are covering are writing about products that you want to buy. Half of the time they are written by unskilled people that just come and they just tell this guy, oh yeah, you come and write it. They don't really make sense. Anybody that is not a skilled copywriter will not engage the audience very well. And sometimes it's a product description, but some products are, supersede. So it doesn't really matter. Can everybody hear me? It doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter whether or not your sometimes it doesn't really matter whether the product description you write is magical, is great. There are some products that will just always sell, right? It's not hard, to be honest. It's not hard that there are some products that will sell, and there are some products that you don't need the description. You know what you want from it. You already are going to buy. So to answer Alade Temitope, it is your network, right? Okay, so let's move on. Like I was saying, there are some products, irrespective of whatever you write, whether it's magic you write, it is always going to sell. Those are high-end products that people are always buying. So it really doesn't matter what you do there. Sometimes, but when you are talking about products that have marginal gains over one product, or the market is very very saturated, so there's a lot of different variations of the same product, your product description is going to be what is going to sell to one customer over the other. So right, very detailed, very good, very quality copywriting for product descriptions is very important. So let's give one good example of a product that is kind of doesn't need product description, and products that do need very good product descriptions. We'll go with high-end jewelry. High-end jewelry does not need product description. Even if you are buying it online, you most likely know what you want. And even if you don't know what you want, whatever you look at that feeds your eyes is going to be what you're going to buy. That is like a general rule of thumb. So you can put your mind out to the other side. But for fashion jewelry that is not so expensive, there's a large variety and a large portion of it, you may have to write a very good, compelling product description. In this case, now you won't be very detailed. You just describe how it fits with the customer, how it benefits the customer, and how it can make and elevate a customer's look. Does everybody understand that? I think that is a good example to use. We're still using relatively like the same products, but while also figuring out that even two of similar products can have different and varying purchases, especially when you're dealing with products that are very expensive, that the person that is coming to buy it already knows what they want to buy from it. Do you get me? How everybody's following? I've done a bit of meandering just to give a good explanation on things that might not be touched within this course, right? Good. Now, business owners, marketers, and copywriters all know the importance of writing product descriptions. But what's the best way to help reach your target audience? Now, there are multiple styles and ways to make product descriptions work for your e-commerce store, but there's much more to them than simple copywriting. So I'd like to point out, for those of us that do make sales online, some of us that have stores on social media or have stores on Paystack, a good thing you might want to do is, Start improving your copy that you write for your products, because that will engage your customers. It will make it look more professional. Even on your social media pages, if you are posting shoes, jewelry, products, tech, whatever you are selling online, a good product description will make a world of good for you. So let's see how, it's not just simple copywriting that makes this product work. I hope everybody is following, right? Good. I'm seeing everybody's following. That's good. Right. Okay. So creating the best product descriptions. There is no doubt product descriptions can take your business to the next level, but what should they say? How long should they be? Which format is best? And how do you make the products rank higher for search engine optimization? So let's take a deep dive. Now, here's a product description template that you can follow. Number one, think about the who, what, when, where, why, and how before you're writing. This is kind of a good gauge to figure out who you're writing for, what do they want, when are they going to be trying to make purchases, where do they make purchases from, why do they want to purchase, and then how are they going to buy it, right? So let's look at this. This method is often used by journalists to provide facts in their stories, and is the first step to crafting. It's the first step in crafting a product description. Who is the product for? That's the target audience. Can be gender, male or female, age, age group, that is college students, retirees, a lifestyle demographic, new mothers, car enthusiasts, or some other defined group. What are the product's basic details? This includes attributes such as dimensions, materials, product features, costs, and functions. When should someone use the product? Is it meant to be used during a certain day, time of day, seasonally, or for a specific occasion? Just as important is pointing out if a product can or should be used every day or all year round. These details will speak to the product's long-term value. So, in general, what are we talking about? Who is this product for? That's your target audience: male, female, age group, lifestyle demographic, new mothers, car enthusiasts. What are the product's basic details? So, a good way to gauge what are the product's basic details would be um, going through going through products basically going through um a, a phone. So when you want to buy a phone, when you go through the product description for a phone, you usually see what materials is made of, how long is the battery life, some of the features, the dimensions of the phone. So a good way to understand what product basic details are just looking at the chart breakdown for a phone. Usually, the chart breakdown for a phone will tell you its display option, the screen brightness, a lot of information. That is a good way to understand what product basic details are. Then, when should someone use the product? The when someone should use your product is a very important thing. Why? Because it's not every product that is supposed to be used at different types of different days, different points in time. Sometimes you use a product sometimes you use a product, you can only use a product in the day. Sometimes you can only use a product in the night. Another good rule of thumb is let's use a phone for example. So phones normally you can use them all day long, but there are some phones whose screen brightness are not so bright that when they're under direct sunlight, you can barely see anything. So you have to put shade over them, right? I hope everybody's understanding what I'm saying. So a good way to say when should a phone be used is if the phone's peak brightness is not so high, then you can't really use it under direct sunlight. You have to kind of figure out when. Skincare products, that's a very good example. Some skincare products are used in the day, like sunscreen. You can only use sunscreen in the day. So figure out examples of what products can be used at different varying points in the day. At first, it might seem like You can use every product at every point in time, but there are some products that can be used at different specific times of day. Like there are certain lights that only are best used during dinners. Like if you go to a fancy restaurant now, there are some lights that they turn on in the day, not like in the day, but in the evening, just to start to create an ambience in the environment. So they are used in the evening towards the night. So it's not that it's just to brighten up the place. There are lights that are generally there to brighten up the place, but there are now lights for ambience. So they can be turned on like slightly when there's a bit of sunlight out, just to feed into the way the environment looks. Let's continue. So where should someone use this product? Is it meant for outdoors, indoors, in your car, at home? This is self-explanatory. Why is the product useful or better than the competition? This can be anything from quality to values of feature, value to features. Think about the product benefits to your customers and consider how images can complement your product copy. How does the product work? Now, this may not be necessary for every product, but it's a must-have feature if you're selling anything with moving parts or electronics. So, moving parts, electronics, toys, phones, games, consoles. How does it work? Is very important when you are writing. Try to, try to write related to how the product works. It's very important. It's not everybody that can. And sometimes some people, a lot of us are first time buyers when we're buying products. So just telling us how it works before we can buy it is a very good way, to know how to use the product. It's a very good way to catch someone's attention. I would much rather buy a product that I don't know how to use, but has like been explained in good detail for me before I buy it. And I know there's a good number of people that are like that. All right, so let's continue. Now, let's dive into the ways to make your product pages and landing pages shine. Now, determine the best format to describe your products. Now, when starting to craft your perfect product description, it's important to determine the best format to use. Since some online shoppers can only scan text on websites, it might be helpful to use bullet points that cover the most important product details. Bullet points should generally be used for specs like dimensions or short phrases like features, so they are quick and easy to read. A good rule of thumb you can use is if your product is available on multiple storefronts, which means there's competition for that exact same product, do bullet points, because someone can easily just scroll past your product, especially when the description is too long. Another good point is when you are talking about very technical details, dimensions, peak brightness, all of those options. It is best that you highlight them in short brief points because you don't have a lot of space. This is not a review of the product. This is just a description of the product so that somebody can understand quickly what the product is about. So making bullet points, if you have high competition with that product, it's in a very saturated market. You're talking about very technical details or short phrased features, consider bullet points. But this is just like a general idea on formatting. There are some product descriptions, maybe this is your store page, and anybody that is coming to your store page knows exactly what they want to buy, right? You can now give very detailed product descriptions. Or if you are talking about very niche products, like let's use bird feeders now. I've done a good bit of writing on bird feeders. People that are coming there don't really, there's not a lot of technical descriptions there. What you are writing is almost vibes. That's a good way to go. There are some products that you just write on vibes because the products are not really technical. Whoever is buying them is either buying them, to add vibes to their house, or it's just one of those products, right? Unfortunately, bullet points aren't always the best to tell the product story and convince target customers that what they are looking at is a great deal. They can look cold and clinical on a page instead of engaging the shopper's emotions or imagination. Like I just pointed out, hummingbird feeders, bird feeders in general, vibes products, night lights, lamps, products that are not, somebody is not buying them because they want to necessarily. Okay, yes, this is a good one. If you're selling a product that is not a necessity, leave bullet points, because somebody is coming to buy them not because they need them but because they want them. And if somebody wants to buy something because they want it, then they can take a minute to look at it, digest whatever it is. They have a bit of money, so take your time with it. So if you're not, if it's not a tech product, the world now has already, tech products have like a specific way. Most of them want their descriptions in bullet points. Leave tech one side. I'm talking about vibes now. Anything that is not a tech product, a speaker, a phone, a laptop, leave the bullet points to one side and, you know, engage your customers' imagination and emotions. Have fun with it. If you notice, like if you go to, now, I'm not talking about Amazon. Let's leave Amazon to one side. Amazon is a good place that you will, make you make some good money if you're writing product descriptions there. But Amazon is an en masse. Anybody that's coming to Amazon doesn't really care. They already know what they want to buy, and Amazon hopes that they forget what they want to buy and they just buy something else. But if you're coming to specialty websites that specialize on specific products, or websites that specialize in products that are not bespoke products, take your time. If you're selling somebody a bespoke suit, that's that's a suit that isn't ready made, a tailored suit, or a pair of shoes, go ham on it. Make sure that the person you're selling it to thinks it is the best thing after sliced bread. Right? Let's move on. Now, to avoid common mistakes and pain points, use prose instead. By writing a paragraph, 3 or more sentences, or two about the product, retailers can set the scene and help the shopper realize why their life up to this point has been incomplete without it. Hear me what I said. When you are writing for a product and they are telling them, you know what? This thing, your life has not been complete without it. Enjoy yourself there. It may seem daunting, but after some practice, it becomes second nature, even fun. I enjoy a good product description. It's short, it's straight to the point, and you don't have to go through a lot of stress to do it, right? You can take your time, you can have fun with it, because you are not dealing with products that are, again, like I said, very saturated. Let's move on. But when you get the hang of it, whatever product you're writing about, whether it's tech, whether it's um, fashion, whether it's housing, furniture, you will have fun with it. Once you get used to it, it becomes simple because it's very short to do. But this is the thing. So if you're writing product descriptions and that's your main bread and butter, just know that you can maybe write like about 100 products in a day, because it's very short. So if we're talking about money in this case now, your value only comes when you're able to churn out a lot. If you can only do 10 products a day, you're going to need to really up your game if you want to make a lot of money, because nobody's going to want to pay you a lot except people are coming to you, right? Except people are coming to you. Sorry for the break in transaction. Say transaction. Sorry for the break in transmission. Network was a bit jumpy. I am back. Fear not. I'm back. Sorry about that. We've not even started talking about this part. We were talking about, can everybody hear me? I'm back. I'm back. So, this is your opportunity to be creative and establish a voice, personality, and tone for your brand. Just imagine you're at a party telling someone you've just met about the product. How you describe it is so that they would understand how great it truly is, right? I think I've done a bit of justice on this part. So a lot of this now is just a bit of extra explanation. But like I've said, if you're not dealing with tech, people have a specific way they want to consume their tech. If you're dealing with a lot of products that are not necessities, just have fun. Don't have too much fun that you're now not being able to like explain the product, but have fun with it. Now, this brand voice permeates every aspect of your online marketing, social media, SEO, paid search, every customer touch point. Unique, compelling copy makes products more relevant for search engines and other marketing mediums that value original content. So forget about Amazon now. Amazon doesn't really care because they're the ones making the most money from sales, right? But on places like specific brand pages, Nike store, but not Nike store. Let's move away from most of the larger sales because their product descriptions are kind of limiting because they already have a dominance. Where you're looking at is places that don't have a dominance. Where you want to really show your true value and make some real money is when you're dealing with e-commerce brands that are not explicitly only selling on Amazon or selling on big storefronts. The places that are having their own storefronts, that are having their own business because they want to keep as much of the profit as they can, is where you want to be. It's where you want to be. Really, it's where you want to be. Now, um, let's follow on. Let's move on. Now, in fact, following this simple formula below is a great way to write a compelling product description. And let's look at that now. Paragraphs of prose plus bullet list of specs or product features equals engaging product description. So now in this case, we've joined both of them together and we're saying, you know what? If you can give a good paragraph or two about the product and you wax lyrical about it and you tell them all they need to know and it's the best thing they've ever had, and then you add bullet points for features about the product, you have written very good copy, right? Because you've given them a lot. Jumia, again, like I said, Jumia is much like Amazon. They have already a market dominance. A lot of people shop on Jumia and they don't look specifically at the product description. Half of the time, a lot of people don't even look at the stars on the product. They just look at it. Does this thing look nice? Is this a brand I know? All right, let's buy. But I'm not saying writing on Jumia is not possible. It's possible. Half of the time, a lot of people have to write for those products, even if it's 10 lines, 5 lines. Now, choose goals and KPIs to measure the success of product descriptions. You need goals to measure the success of product description, but it's going to take a long time. You might think you might be thinking, especially if you rely on product descriptions from your distributors or manufacturers, and you're right, this isn't a quick process. However, if you can commit to writing product descriptions using that formula, you begin to see a variety of benefits. Let's take a look. Well, Oluwawumi, Omowumi, Omowumi, you are in a class of your own. I barely check the product descriptions when I'm buying on Jumia. Because half of the time, I already know what I want to buy, and I already know it's from a brand I like. Let us continue. So here are the benefits that come from writing very good copy. And these are the goals that we should keep in mind when we want to check. Because one of the things you do as a writer is also checking that this thing you're writing about is selling, right? Let's move. An increase in conversion rate, a decrease in cart abandonment, a lower rate of return, fewer calls from shoppers, and improved organic search ranking. So increasing your conversion rate is just, if you write good product descriptions, you get more people buying. You also get a decrease in cart abandonment. And everybody, this one is kind of on the edge because everybody looks and puts a bunch of products in their carts that they might not necessarily buy. They'll be like, all right, just put it in my cart when I have the money. So no matter how good your product description is, that kind of goes outside of the realms of, getting a customer to do something. It's just whatever you feel like doing. You get a lower rate of return. Because if somebody reads your product description and the product you explain, you've explained it in detail, they're not going to return it because they most likely know what they are getting. They also get fewer calls from shoppers because, again, if you've explained the product very well, you've told them the benefits and you've given them the features, there's no point calling for more information when all the information is there, right? And then you get improved organic search rankings. This is generally comes from Google, telling that, okay, this product was described very well. You are going to be a good place to get it. So there are countless product description examples, including on platforms such as Amazon, BigCommerce, and Shopify. Like I said, go to Amazon, go to Shopify, you will see 101 places and 101 products to look at product descriptions. But I would not suggest Amazon as the best place. Like I said, bespoke, your favorite store that you buy from, that is just like a good number of Nigerian stores that have their own websites. Look at their products, check them out. There's a lot of good copy around them, a lot of products that are sold, people that sell their products on their own websites. That's a good place to get, the right kind of product descriptions. Right, let's move on. Now, make your product description short and sweet. Don't overthink it. Use conversational paragraph long descriptions to engage fans and ideal customers, as well as quick bullet points with need to know specs to concisely convey the most important information for online shoppers. Like I've said, don't stray too far. Take your time and don't do a lot of explanations. Somebody is coming to buy a product, they don't want to see the life story of the product. They want to just get as much information as they can in the shortest amount of time. So even though I'm telling you, have fun with it, write how you feel, how you do it. If you're at a party and you're trying to explain something to somebody, you don't have a lot of time to explain it to them, right? Use storytelling to your advantage. Does your product have a backstory that's particularly special to you? Chances are it will be particularly special and endearing to your audience too. Use that story in your product description to add more character to your item, engage your audience, and win hearts and minds. So it's kind of like if you are writing about a product on like a nightlight. Oh, I used this light when I was a kid. This nightlight is really good for young kids because it keeps them calm in the dark. You are very much on the right track. But don't make things up, except you're a very good liar. Then have fun. Okay, don't be afraid to boast. So here's how you take the product description formula that I showed you before, one step further. Is your product differentiated through a founder's expertise? Is your product better because of years of testing? Is it handcrafted? Handcrafted is what I meant by bespoke. Does it get strong social proof with testimonials and product reviews? If you have yes to some of these things, then call them out. Tell a better story in your short product descriptions paragraph by including tidbits about details that prove why your product is better than the rest. Don't be afraid to name drop. If you have a big person behind your product, if Elon Musk says, I use this shampoo every day, please tell everybody that Elon Musk uses your shampoo and then quote where you saw him. Tell everybody that was where it was. Are you getting me? Are you feeling me? Are you understanding me? Let's move on. Get technical. Get technical to win trust where needed. If you have a more technical product, don't be afraid to get in the weeds. Yeah, show them you know your onions, right? with the product description. Prove to your customer your brand's expertise in the industry by providing all possible details they'll need to know before they ever have to ask. Then know when to show and not tell. Text isn't always the best way to describe your product. If you are getting too wordy, then think about how to simplify. And an image is a great way to simplify. All in all, it's important to first know your audience to determine what kind of content will best speak to them to increase conversions. The e-commerce product description formula works for most brands, but it's only a starting point. Think visually, add graphics, and optimize your product images. A/B test, because A/B testing essentially is carrying two separate different kinds of product descriptions and saying which one works best for which market to figure out um, how you want to go about it. Whether you're selling t-shirts or strollers, shoppers like to buy from people they trust. And building trust is different based on what you're selling. So I hope everybody has kind of understood what we're talking about. And we're moving to our next topic. I hope everybody has been following and understanding this. This is kind of going to be a short. This kind of, a lot of things are self-explanatory. I hope everybody is following, and we're not only talking about the assignments, because I can only see a bunch of people only saying assignment this, assignment that. Right? I hope everybody is following. Okay, so we're talking about call to actions. Have I been too fast? Actually, that's a good question. Have I been too fast? I feel like I've been like on the right tempo, right pace, just to make sure that everybody is still following, but getting the most out of what they're reading and what we're studying. Oh, message is coming through. I'm fast. I didn't know I was fast too. I hope I am not too fast. Right? Good. If I'm too fast, I can slow down, but it may take a bit of time, and I don't want to waste everybody's time. Right? Good, 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 good. All right. Let's move to call to actions. Now, in my last class, there was a lot of talk about call to actions, making sure that you're at the end of whatever you're writing, that your customers are ready to make a purchase, ready to buy whatever you're selling. Right? Now we are moving on to what exactly call to actions are. It's very important that we all take a call to action. Important because, like I said, it's a very important thing. It's something we should all kind of, know how to do. But now, this is the funny bit about call to actions. It's kind of really simple. It's kind of something we all see every day. But now that I'm going to highlight what it is, everybody is now going to be like, oh, we didn't know that we always were seeing call to actions. So let's get into it. It's kind of a very obvious thing, but it's something that is almost like hidden in plain sight. So, what is a call to action? A call to action is a concise prompt designed to spur an immediate response from your audience. Immediate response from your audience, guiding them towards a specific action. No matter whether you're asking your audience to make a purchase, subscribe to a service, or engage with your content, the call to action is a strategic marketing tool. As obvious as it is, that you should always have a call to action. Whether you're making a video, tell people to like, share, subscribe, and follow. Whether you are writing an article, tell people to like, share, subscribe, and follow. Whatever you're doing, there should be a call to action at the end. And this is like your bread and butter, whether you're a content writer or a copywriter. Content, like I just said, if you're writing an article, tell people something to do. Drop a comment, drop a message in the comment section. Tell us if you enjoyed reading this, article. Tell us if you enjoyed the video. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe. These are the basic ones, but there are a lot of different kinds of call to actions. Sometimes you can come up with your own. I like coming up with my own call to actions that are a bit quirky, a bit fun, because everybody has done a bit of reading or they've enjoyed watching the video. It's important to tell them to, do something at the end of the video, even if it's simply just to comment. Also, a call to action doesn't have to be about improving your page, improving your monetization, improving your following. A call to action can be to get people to do something. So if you are talking about a product, that if you're talking about a situation happening and you want people to donate money, you're not going to tell them, oh, if you enjoyed this video, or oh, if this thing touched your heart, please send us money. No, this is where we have very finessed call to actions. Like, if you want to remove money, that they're not buying something, if you want to remove money from people's, if you want to get people's hard-earned money, and you're talking about making donations, you have to be cunning, you have to be emotionally intelligent, and you have to be kind of, like a thief. You have to be almost kind of like a thief, because people don't tend to want to donate, right? Especially when we watch videos about something going on somewhere and they're telling us send money. It doesn't work like that. But if you're able to elicit a real emotion from people, if you're able to tell them at the end of this, these people are still suffering, and with just 10 naira, you can help give a child water, you can help save a child's life. There was this very funny Trevor Noah joke that I heard way back when he was doing stand-up, a lot of stand-up, and he was like, whenever they do a joke, whenever there's a joke about, whenever there's they bring a white person to come to Africa and they tell people about, how their people are living in poverty, there's always someone famous talking about it. But there's always something they say at the end that kind of almost makes your heart bleed, especially when they are with children, and they'll bring the children close, and they'll tug at your heartstrings. If you want to get people to donate money, getting people to donate money is a skill. In of itself. And if you work for NGOs, making sure that people donate money is going to be one of your key abilities as a writer. Leave speeches to one side, leave everything to one side. Just to get people to donate is a skill. And if you're able to do that, you work for a bunch of NGOs, because they need a lot of donations to survive. So let's continue. I've given you guys like a very good explanation on this one. So let's continue. Say now, oh God, they do this thing like clockwork now. So you guys, yesterday, so people were waiting for it. Your $10,000 will go a long way. Yes, your $10,000 will go a long way to building power, especially when you're doing CSR projects. CSR projects, that's community service. I know it's community development. There's a lot of different names for it. If you are going to get people to cough up money, it's a good way to improve with your call to actions. Now, your call to actions are not going to be short. By no means are they going to be short. They are going to almost be, your call to action can be almost a paragraph long. But you test with them. you test with your audience, right? So I know I have a lot more to go through, but I really want to explain this thing to you guys. If you're doing for donations, and I think that's something that we should all try and take on that, because not many people are going to tell you that they write for NGOs and they use a lot of their talents when they are writing proposals or anything to get money from investors, to get money from donations. You can use your final paragraph and just almost sneakily pull everything out. You can start from your final paragraph and just keep laying in subliminal messages to make sure corporate social responsibility. I don't know why it's when I've already stopped talking about it that you guys already go into it, but that's what it is. When you are at your final paragraph, you can start laying in subliminal messages before you catch them with your final sentence. You can start with, oh, this is how these people are living, this is what a change can make, this is what the kind of impact you can do. We can do this for them if we do this, and then at the end you can now tell them, just with a simple donation of $200, all of this can be achieved. Then the person will think, $200 is it not small? Then they'll now remember, okay, it's not just my own $200, it's this person $200, it's 1,000 people that are going to donate, and bam, you've gotten them. Bring out your final libido shake. You guys are funny today. You guys are enjoying yourselves today. So the primary purpose of the call to action is to change individuals from passive observers to active participants, aligning their actions with the goals of the business or campaign. By providing clarity, creating a sense of urgency, and emphasizing the benefits of the intended action, call to actions play a pivotal role in driving conversations and engagement. Let me explain something again. Your call to action doesn't even have to always involve money. If there's been a social injustice, if you are writing about the mistreatment or the marginalization of a people. Now, this is why writing is a very broad thing. You're not only going to sometimes be writing about, products. You're not always going to be writing about scripts for movies. There are times where you'll be writing. You could be working at a news outlet and you've taken your time to describe what the people in a certain area are going to. You guess to get people to vote. Do you get me? Your talents as a writer should not don't think because we've been talking about money and products and all of these things that and social media that your talent as a writer cannot be put out in so many ways. Any books, any Barack Obama books you've read or I have read, or this one that all of our parents made us to read by what's his name, Gifted Hands. Everybody here has read Gifted Hands. That whole book was a call to action to get you to be interested in the medical field, to get you to believe in yourself. Call to action sometimes doesn't even have to be simply about just one thing. It doesn't simply have to be about money. So, like, take this as me using this time to expand your mind, right? Expand your mind. Don't just limit yourself that, oh, I'm only going to be writing about products or writing articles. An article can save a life. An article can save a life. One of my favorite authors, Ta-Nehisi Coates, one of his books he just released touched on the Israel-Palestine war. And, he really did go deep into it and explain a lot of things. And he won't, at the end of that book, tell you people that you need to pick sides or anything. He's just showing you that there's a humanity to people. That irrespective of war that goes on in somewhere, and irrespective of the image we have about people, everybody is just a human being trying to live their life. No matter what they do, irrespective of the crimes they commit, they are still humans. And we should also remember that we are not dealing with, because 1% of the population doesn't, 1%, what 1% of the population doesn't speak for everybody. I'm trying to, use this point just to open your mind that you guys are writers and you shouldn't just, settle for just writing the basic things. The basic things will put, bread in the oven. The basic things will put money in your table. But the moment you start going for the outstanding, you start going for the things that nobody else wants to touch, that's when you start, writing your name that's when you start thinking about writing your names in the book of history. I've gone very cheesy today. This is kind of because of a conversation I had with a bunch of my friends today. So my mind has now switched back that way. But we'll go back to class in a few minutes. But you know what? On that note, we have about 4 minutes left before we go on a break. So I've used my last 4 or 5 minutes to really almost preach at this point. And I did not think that is something I would be doing right now. But I hope you guys understand what I mean. Like, as a writer, you don't only settle on the basics. Go out there, go into the world. Your talents are never wasted. Making an impact can come, like I said, an article can save a life because it can shed light on a wide variety of things. And there's nothing better than highlighting something that people are not aware of, right? So I'm trying to also expand your mind that call to actions are not just about following on social media, subscribe, or make a purchase. A call to action can be a very strong thing because it is a call to action. You want people to do something, right? And I think while we're on a break in about 3 minutes time, about 8 on the dot, we'll go on a break. You guys can, go and take attendance. But let's quickly finish up with at least our introduction to call to action, and then we'll move on, right? The primary purpose of a call to action is to change individuals from passive observers. Okay, I think I've said this. Yeah, from passive observers to active participants. There's a lot of things that go on in the world that seem alien to us, and we only kind of, just are passers-by in them. But your call to action can make people become active and willing participants in the situation, right? So aligning their actions with the goals of the business or the campaign. And there's a reason why a campaign is put here. You have marketing campaigns where you're trying to, let's talk about women empowerment. Let's talk about equal pay. Let's talk about those kinds of things require heavy call to actions that might not be necessarily to follow and subscribe, right? So by providing clarity, creating a sense of urgency, and emphasizing the benefits of the intended actions, call to actions play a pivotal role in driving conversations and engagement. Some of our favorite skits have had very strong call to actions. They made a joke about something, but in the end, they've really told us they've really told us a lot about what is going on in the world. So before we go on a break, it depends on like everybody's how much we again. I'm a very I'm someone that likes to deal with international politics. That's kind of me. But for those of us that really want to get a grasp of what a call to action, right, looks like, maybe we'll take a moment. I don't know. It's kind of I have a radical idea, but it will be at the end of our class. I'll show you guys a video and we'll watch a bit of it and you see what I mean when we're talking about a call to action, right? But let's finish the basic ones. So in 2 minutes time or in a minute, once it's 8 o'clock, we'll go on a break. Then in 5 minutes time, we'll come back, we'll finish everything, and then I'll play you guys a video that I kind of hope will sync with you guys, right? All right. Yeah, we're back, we're back, we're back. Oh. And we are back. I hope everybody can hear me. I hope everybody can hear me. Are we ready? 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 All right. It's good to have everybody back. All right. So before I kind of went off on a tangent, just almost becoming a inspired to aspire, almost starting my own inspired to aspire class. Let's continue. When I were to use a call to action. Now, a call to action, commonly known by its initialisms, CTA, can take various forms from clickable buttons to persuasive phrases. You see them in marketing materials like websites, emails, social media, and adverts. CTAs can be effective in most marketing mediums because CTAs can be used almost anywhere. It's essential to tailor your CTA language and placement to the specific context and desired user action. A well-crafted strategy A well-crafted, strategically placed CTA can significantly enhance user engagement, helping you achieve your goals. Here, here's where marketers commonly use CTAs. We have website landing pages, blog posts and articles, email marketing, social media posts, product pages, pop-up forms, videos, printed materials, and what else? Printed materials, online adverts, and exit intent pop-ups. Exit intent pop-ups. Exit intent pop-ups are terrible things. That those pop-ups that appear on your screen and you're supposed to exit them, but the exit button is very small. So it ends up taking you to another pop-up. That's a terrible one. But there's a lot of marketing that goes into those pop-ups, and they usually have a lot of information on them, but nobody wants to pay attention to them because we're already doing something else. What's next? The types of CTAs. Each type serves a distinct purpose in engaging users and driving specific action based on the goals of a business or marketing campaign. Direct action CTAs explicitly invite users to take a specific or immediate action. This type of CTA is commonly used at the end of cover letters, in adverts, on sales pages, and in email marketing. Examples include buy now, subscribe today, or make an appointment. Then we have informational CTAs. Informational CTAs direct users to discover more about products, services, an idea, a product, a service, an idea, or a campaign. This might redirect a blog or sales page. Examples include learn now. Examples include learn now and get more information here. Is a lot of other ones, right? Social sharing CTAs. So this is the most common one. Yes, it's a CTA, isn't it? It's a call to action. Take your attendance, click here. Yes, you're right. So social sharing CTAs are the ones that are most common. Social sharing CTAs encourage users to share content on social media platforms. You often find this kind of CTA in newsletters, podcasts, blogs. Examples include share with your network, repost this on TikTok, and pin it, right? Then we have feedback CTAs. Feedback CTAs prompt users to provide opinions and reviews or participate in surveys. These are commonly used in business emails to ask for evaluation when someone unsubscribes or ends a free trial, buys a product, or listens to a podcast. When you are with customer care, that's another good one. When you finish with a customer care correspondent or helper, somebody on customer care, you find out that you get those messages. Oh, was this person helpful? Did this person help you solve the problem? Because they're trying to kind of, get you to make sure that you evaluate the way this person helped you, or if this person was helpful at all, right? Yeah. So, what's the next? What's the next one? So, examples: leave a review, take a survey, tell us what you think. They're all examples of feedback CTAs. Okay, so how to write a CTA. Here are 5 tips to help you write the best CTAs in the world. Well, not in the world, but to write the best CTAs you can. So, our first one, writing an effective and compelling call to action involves careful consideration of language, placement, and relevance to your audience. Here's a step-by-step guide to help you create impactful CTAs. The first thing you need to do, understand your audience. I think this is the one I kind of like portrays the most with you guys. Like, I've told you, understand your audience, do market research, research your audience, know your audience. I've told you this 101 different ways. But it's very important, because if you don't know your audience, you don't know your target audience, you don't know their demographics, you don't know where they're from, you don't know a lot of information about them, you most likely write the wrong thing, and that can get you talking to the wrong people about the right product. And that's not something anybody wants to do, right? So, know your audience, identify your target audience, and understand their needs, preferences, pain points. Then consider why they would want to take action. Take the action you're requesting. How would it benefit them? The next thing on your list is define your goal. Clearly outline specific actions you want your audience to take, whether it's making a purchase, signing up, or sharing your content. A singular and focused goal is very important, because it helps your target audience know exactly what to do. Don't be vague with your call to actions. Don't hide behind big grammar. Tell them exactly what you want them to do. Do you want them to follow? Tell them to follow. Do you want to start an uprising? Tell them we are marching to Aso Rock. Tell them exactly what you want them to do. Because if you don't tell them, they won't do it. And when you tell your audience what you want them to do, chances are they wake up from whatever they were thinking about and are like, oh yeah, let me do this now, right? Yeah. So let's look at the next one. Use actionable language. Employ verbs that inspire action. Start your CTA with an action word like shop, subscribe, explore, or join to prompt immediate engagement. Next, create a sense of urgency. Instill a feeling of urgency or encourage prompt actions. Urgency tactics can include limited time offers, limited quantity offers, and countdowns. I have been on a page that has used all 3 of these things to create urgency so that I can do something. Like, you're missing out. There are only 10 of these products remaining, and in the next 2 minutes this product is going to finish. I'm like, you people really want me to buy this thing? This is limited stock. We only have 50 of these products available, and 20 people have bought it. There's only 30 remaining, and it closes by midnight. I die, says to that person, no buy am. I die, because you've instilled this almost fear of missing out in them, that if I don't buy this thing, then something is going to happen. I'm going to miss out on this thing. FOMO, fear of missing out, is the best way to get people to buy something. If you tell them, your guys are using this thing and you're not using it, hey, voila, So that's a very good way to get people to buy it. Or using peer pressure. Peer pressure is a very good way to create urgency. If everybody is using it and you are not using it, you will use it. That's why people that have a lot, that's why everybody uses iPhones, even though sometimes Samsung cameras are better. Everybody will use iPhone because my friend is using iPhone. Why would I not use iPhone? Ha, I can afford it. And this person, our boyfriend bought her iPhone. Which one want iPhone? So that's kind of how it works. You can use peer pressure as well as a good way to get your call to action to get people to buy. Highlighting benefits. Now, before you write your actual call to action, consider how to communicate the benefits of taking the desired action. How will this thing benefit me? That's always how you should be thinking. That's always how you should be thinking. How will this thing benefit me? When you're writing about a product and you're getting to the call to action section, remember now they said consider how to communicate the benefits of taking the desired action before you write the call to action. So tell them, ask yourself this question: how will this thing benefit me? Am I going to get the most out of this product? If your answer is yes, then by all means, get people involved. If it will benefit you, that means you should be able to tell people why it will benefit them, right? And you can get people involved and you can get people interested in your product. Now, explain how it will add value or solve a problem for the user. Use the benefits, use these benefits briefly in your call to action, or simply to inform how, or use it to inform simply how you can write the call to action. So here are some call to action examples. We have CTA examples, like direct action examples, and some of the direct action examples are shop now, order today, subscribe for updates, add to your cart, claim your discount, sign up for free, get started now. A lot of these are common. A lot of these are common. A lot of these call to actions are common. We see them every day, but we pass over them because we've become almost. We're in class. We're having class. We're not talking about which phone I'm using. We are in class now. Focus on the class. You people will be complaining about multiple choice now. If I give you the project now, you hear somebody screaming, what is going on? So focus on the class. No which phone to use. I don't have phone. Okay, so like I said, a lot of these call to actions, we see them every day. We see them every day. We don't kind of have to know where they are. We see them every day. So looking at share with your friends, spread the word, tell your followers, share on Facebook, repost and share. Those ones are very common. But here are some that can be slightly different, like personalized call to action examples. So for even more personalized call to actions, replace you or your in these prompts with the recipient's first name or add it to the end of the call to action. So there is some good examples that a good number of us use. There is a way, and I'm not quite sure how this works again, but when you have enough data, you have people's names, and in a spreadsheet, you're separating them by first name and last name. You can do it in a way that whenever you're sending a message out, it just pulls all the data from the people's first names and sends emails out. That's how some people send emails directly to you and be like, oh, Tunde or Dikpo or Temi, they'll put your first name there just to quickly pick your interest. Like, how do they know my first name is? Because you put your data somewhere that they can sift through it quickly, right? Now, your exclusive invitation tailored just for you, customized options just for you, explore personalized deals, unlock your special offer. Those are very good examples of personalized call to actions. And then a simple way to personalize it is to just put someone's first name there. Let us continue. So This is the final bit of what we're talking about today. We are talking about copy editing. We are talking about copy editing. Copy editing is the stage in which a piece of writing, the copy is reviewed and edited to improve its readability. Copy editors ensure the style of writing is consistent and that the text flows organically from one sentence to the next. Yes, Aproko Doctor uses personalized CTA, but most of the time he's only talking about what's this person's name? He's only talking about Ngozi and Emeka and Nkechi and Pius. Yeah, so that's a good way to do it. Create imaginary characters that everybody is very familiar with, and then bring it out for people to follow along with. Right? All right, let's continue. They also check, a copy editor will also check the work for grammar, punctuations, and continuity, providing suggestions on how best to convey the message of the writer. In addition, a content editing and in addition to content editing, copy editors can act as fact checkers, which is especially necessary if your writing is non-fiction and involves vetting of real information. So I think a good thing you can do is, if you don't have a copy editor, you're not working in a company that has a professional copy editor, you can ChatGPT. ChatGPT is a very good assistant. ChatGPT is a very good assistant that helps you people, that helps people get their copy edited, whatever they're writing. It's a good editor to help you, especially when you don't have someone else that can look at your work. ChatGPT can offer a different point of view, can offer you, hey, take it from this direction, or even help you rewrite the whole thing. Like I said, do not be afraid of AI. Use it. If not, somebody else will use it and be better than you. What is okay? Yes, so copy editors can be found in publishing houses, at copy desks, can be found at publishing houses, copy desks for news organizations, or often freelancers. The job description of a copy editor varies depending on where they work and what they do. For instance, a copy editor for a small newspaper helps design page layouts, organize newspaper copy for a print or online publications, and decides which stories should run. However, a freelancer hired by a fiction author may have the job of checking sentence structure and diction. Now, when do you need a copy editor? Copy editing services are often enlisted by writers or publications before the proofreading stage, but the level of service may vary. So this is a kind of job opportunity that comes with experience. If you're someone like, I don't myself as an example. But if you're someone like me that has been writing for a bit of time, you can apply for jobs as a copy editor. Your experience alone will be able to tell you, or tell the person that is looking at your CV, that, oh, maybe this person is a good fit because they are providing me with copy that might be very useful to me. They're helping me look at things from a different point of view, right? So it's a very useful thing to look at. Heavy copy edits or substantive English. Heavy copy edits or substantiative substance wow. Even me, I'm battling with this word. Wow. Substantive editing is a deeper involvement with the text that can involve reorganization or passages, tweaking of style and voice and rewrite. So when you're having heavy copy edits, that's like when somebody decides that me and you are going to battle with this thing. I've had this happen to me before. Me and my editor will battle over a paragraph, a passage. Sometimes the whole article will be like, bro, this thing, you need to change this whole thing. And I'm like, no, I don't want to change it. There's a bit of back and forth that goes from both of us, and then we find a middle ground where we will cut some things out and we'll add some other things, cut some things, add some other things. It's a very chaotic process, but it works, especially if you have a good relationship with your editor. That's why I say ChatGPT is a very good option to use, because you won't necessarily have to argue. But I think the best things come from arguments, especially constructive arguments. So don't be afraid to battle with ChatGPT as well. If you don't like what ChatGPT is saying, tell it, say, hey, let's change, let's do something else, let's work it like this. One thing that they always tell me about ChatGPT is garbage in, garbage out. So if it is garbage in, you're giving it, it's garbage is going to give you out. Go. All right. We're almost getting to the end of our class. So, what does a copy editor do? As a copy editor, you look for a number of technical issues within a piece of writing. From format errors, that's the number one priority of the copy editor, is to highlight and suggest corrections to grammatical errors, spelling errors, punctuation errors, and syntax. Again, like ChatGPT can do a lot of these, or Grammarly can do a lot of these. What I think the best thing you can do when you have a physical editor present with you, or somebody that is, back and forth with you, look at syntax, look at spacing of your words, look at the complexity of the words you're using. Do you get me? Look at the complexity of the words you're using. Let him be able to tell you, oh, this seems too complicated for the kind of audience you're writing for, especially when it's not AI you're using and it's a person, so that they can, kind of understand what you're doing and what you're saying, right? Okay, so what's the next one? Although there may be areas that although these areas may be tackled by a separate proofreader, a copy editor still needs to address them as they see them, and these may affect the content of the work itself. Another job of your copy editor is to enforce flow. Too many words can bog down a text and confuse the reader. A good copy editor will be able to eliminate superfluous sentences, writing your paraphrasing and your statements. These are the kind of things that really, really take your work to the next level when you are able to, explain explain to a high degree what is going on and what you want them to see. It's very important. It's very, very important. Now, a copy editor will also check for consistency. Copy editor's job require you to be detail oriented. One of the main responsibilities of a copy editor is to comb through a given work and check to make sure details are kept consistent, such as description of settings and characters. If a house is white in one chapter, then suddenly brown in the next, is the job of the copy editors to notice and change that detail. One thing I will say is that as a writer, it is very easy for us to have blind spots. It has happened to me. There are a lot of times where I will read, because it's me that wrote it, and in my head this was what I wrote. I can read a paragraph 5 times and I won't see the most glaring error. Like I had this one with somebody I was working with. I wrote show instead of should, and I kept reading it as should because in my head it was should, but the person was like, oh, you are writing should. You're writing show. You wrote show, bro. And the person will be like, oh, actually, that is what I should have wrote. And I was like, obviously, I couldn't see that because, again, it was in my head. But somebody else can see that and be like, yeah, you need to correct this, right? So that's why it's always good to have someone else look at your work. Fact checks. The copy editing process can involve research, especially when editing non-fiction works. If no specialized fact checker is working on a publication, the copy editor may need to verify dates and events to maintain factual accuracy. If you are going to lie, it's the job of your copy editor to catch you in your lie and tell you, bros, why you did lie now? And it's up to you to kind of figure out if it's a lie. Like, you guys can go back and forth on Google and figure out what is not true and what seems like it is true. This is something that you should not fall for. What seems like it is true and is not true are two different things, right? So it may seem true, it may look true, it might even be obvious that it might be true, but it might end up not being true. What's a good example? I can't come up with a good example off the top of my head in this specific moment. So let's kind of skip to the next bit. All right. Here are the 6 steps to copy editing. If you're interested in a job, in the job title of professional copy editor, here are some of the basic steps you need to do to get started. Clarify your role. First, determine what level of copy editing you're providing. If you're just starting out, it's best to stick to the more basic responsibilities like looking for spelling and syntax only. If you've got some experience and you're familiar with the style guides, a more substantive, that's caught me again, editing role is more substantive. God damn. Substantive. Is it not substantive? Substantial. Why didn't I just put substantial? Can you imagine? I'm like, if a more substantial editing role may be appropriate. Give the text an initial read through. The first time you read through should be about getting the big picture, right? And should be free of any editing suggestions. Read the entire work as a whole. Read the entire work as a whole before providing your own notes. Right? See that, just wow. Christ. It's funny too, isn't it? Anyways, read the thing, get the initial idea. Don't like take your initial read through as your point of contact to understand what the writer is doing. My editor will not say, bro, this doesn't make sense, until he understands the full idea. Right? He'll understand the full idea of everything before he now comes and now says, okay, this could do with a bit of work, this could do with a bit of work. Like I said, it happens, but it's something we all have to kind of, get a feel for. So if you're going to be a copy editor, try and, look at it from a big picture standpoint, understand what you're reading, and then you can now start making errors, start saying, okay, this needs comma, this needs full stop, this needs this, right? What's next? Because at this point, we're almost done anyway. Read it again and make a plan. After you've completed your initial reading of the text, back and read it again with a few questions in mind. Is the writing properly conveying the author's intent? Do the sentence work logically in the order they are presented? Does this piece maintain its voice and style throughout? Sometimes you will change your style, like you're taking pictures. You can flip between styles and pacing. It just depends on what you're writing. If you're writing an article that is just a full spread, there's no need to change your tone or your style. But if you're writing maybe a work of fiction or a novel, you can change your style. There are points in time where you will even be like, well, let's turn this into a thriller, even though we were just in kind of like an action movie. It happens. Changing your style is necessary, but is it consistent? Like, does it feed to this point? This point you've entered, does it make sense to what we are writing? Or is it just out of left field, right? Does the piece maintain its voice and style throughout? Are there any factual or detailed inconsistencies? Does the do the ideas flow smoothly from one paragraph to the next? Keep a list of notes you plan on addressing. I kind of do this when I'm just by myself reading aloud. I take notes of, you know, every point by myself and say, okay, this point is here, this point is here, this point is here. I do it for my friend as well. I do check some of his work from time to time. So every once in a while, I will make a list of everything I want to change. It helps put your ideas into perspective before you can start making wholesale changes. Because in the moments of argument, because trust me, if you start editing a writer's work, every writer is very personal. Every writer thinks this work is their greatest ever work and it is their baby, except it's a writer that doesn't really care. But every writer takes every piece they write as their. So if you now want to start editing their baby, they'll be like, bro, calm down, calm down. So it's good to, note down everything first before. Yes, so you want to keep everything in alignment just to make sure that yes, your points are noted down ahead of time. Don't freestyle. Please don't freestyle. You're not a rapper. Okay, so go line by line. Once you've analyzed the writing and formulated your plan for how you'll edit, start at the beginning. This time, work your way through each sentence, implementing any line edits or suggesting as you see fit. Format the text. After you've made your edits, ensure they comply with which formatting standards you require. For instance, if you're editing a novel or magazine, you likely need to consult the Chicago Manual of Style. If it's a news story, the Associated Press style book may be needed. You may also receive a style sheet, which is a handy template outlining the house style of the publication you're editing for. If applicable, ChatGPT will not have all of the style guides. So this is why wherever you're working is kind of important to do, right? There may not be any formatting standards to follow. In this case, it's key to make sure that the author's own style is kept consistent. Then finally, do a final read. Be sure to check through your own work. Your editing services must improve the readability of the writing, not complicate it. Although there will most likely be a proofreading stage, try to ensure that the text is as error free as possible. What is the difference between copy editing? What is the difference between copy editors and proofreaders? Copy editors and proofreaders may have. What is the difference? Sorry, I had to quickly answer somebody. Someone came into the room and I needed to quickly answer them. Anyways, what is the difference between copy editors and proofreaders? Copy editors and proofreaders may have overlapping responsibilities, but the purpose and intent of their jobs are different. Copy editors make sure that the organization and word usage stay as clear and understandable as possible. A copy editor works to ensure the reader will not get lost in extraneous detail or bogged down by poorly structured phrases. A copy editor's job may also involve research of a written topic and the vetting of sources. On the other hand, proofreaders have a slightly more basic role. They are just they're the real spell checkers, combing for typos and other aesthetic issues like misplaced word breaks or missing pages. Proofreading is the final step where any remaining fine-tuning is given before publishing. So we do proofreading all the time. A lot of us just kind of a lot of us just kind of do proofreading on our own. We have AI that can help us do a lot of proofreading. It's the final step. After your copy editor has gone through everything, then you can proofread. This is just the secondary part, just to make sure that you are having the right kind of flow. A copy editor's job is to kind of just make sure that there's a lot more technicalities to their work. They're like a copy editor's job should be kind of more like making sure that there's a lot of technical details going on. Is the flow correct? Is the structure correct? Is this thing in its entirety organized well? On the other hand, if you are working with, kind of like your proofreader can just be there to make sure that everything is finally done. Because it's the final stage, there's no real heavy lifting done because the copy editor has done all the heavy lifting. So, in essence, proofreading, like I said, is kind of like the end point. It is your final point. There's not much that is required of you. You just kind of work at the end with a proofreader. Like they said, the proofreader's job is just to spell check, combing through for typos, and then looking at other aesthetic issues like misplaced word breaks or missing pages. Proofreading, like they said, is the final step, and it's where any remaining fine tuning is done before you publish. Right? Is there anything left? Yeah, I think that's all. It's time for questions. Questions. I did promise that I might show you guys a video. I'm not sure if the video is not keys. Christ, I didn't know you guys were hearing it. It's not keys. It's kind of don't mind it. I think it's a bracelet that I've just been playing around with. But I've come to the end of the class. I don't know if I can show you guys the video. It's a really important call to action thing. And let's answer questions first. If everybody has their questions, then maybe we'll look at the video. But it kind of depends on what questions. Do we have any questions? Like they say, it's time for questions. And we've almost come to the end of our class. We are asking. Oh, good. I'm here with you guys now. We finished the class. It's time for questions. But it seems like nobody is really in the mood for questions today. You guys have had your fun this night. It's because it's our last class for this week, so everybody can enjoy themselves. Can one do proofreading and copy editing with ChatGPT? Sure, but the personal touch that comes from a person is kind of what differentiates your work. Like I said, that back and forth. Like I said, me and my editor have gone back and forth on how to best work an article. It kind of helps because sometimes if we just leave it to ChatGPT, we might as well just tell it to write the whole thing for me. So don't leave it to ChatGPT. It's more like look at what ChatGPT says and then go back and forth with it. If you want to use ChatGPT, it's fine. You can easily prompt ChatGPT to say, okay, take the role of a copy editor or take the role of a um, proofreader. But you also want to go back and forth with it. Don't just take the first thing it gives you. Go back and forth with it, fine tune it, right? Oh, God. Are people really asking questions? A pen. It's most like I'm not really seeing. Please, what does POV mean? That's point of view. I think big is happening tomorrow. I'm sure my family house was. You guys have really forgotten that there's class today. These vibes. Feel okay. I'm. Can I write blog post with ChatGPT? Yeah, you can. But are we really going to leave ChatGPT to do everything for us all together? It's kind of not really necessary. Yinka, I wasn't totally distracted. I think towards the end of the class, some things really just started going on in my house that have kind of just been weird. Even though I think for most of the class I was with you guys, wasn't I? I just realized that not everything Grammarly suggests that one should accept. Yeah, yeah. It's not everything that Grammarly suggests that. Please, what? Let's focus on the class. Are there strictly um are there strictly job roles on copy editing? Yeah, there's strictly job roles on copy editing, but I think you really want to focus on being a writer first before you go into editing because it's an experience game. One of my editors that I worked with for quite a while was like a writer for I don't know 5 to 6 or 7 years before he was like, okay, let him move into editing as well. My question so far, Mr. Dipo, so far the knowledge keeps getting broader. How do we balance all we've been learning? That's why you have the opportunity to rewatch the videos. You also have the opportunity to focus on topics that best suit you. You don't have to rewatch all the videos. You can pick topics that best suit you and you can, focus on them. Or you can even kind of, you don't have to learn everything all at once. Take the rest of the year to really hone and sharpen your skills on what you're learning. Are there tools that can make product descriptions easier? I've not come across any tools that can make product descriptions easier. Apart from, I guess maybe you start asking ChatGPT for help there. But what's the difference? I don't think there are any tools. What do you know? You're finding it hard to use WordPress. You don't understand the app at all. We are going to have a content management systems class. So we're going to look at WordPress in depth. But you can as well watch a video to, kind of prompt your mind before you look at it. I keep seeing that the roles keep growing. So how do you know what works for you? That's experimentation. To know what works for you kind of is about experimentation. There are roles that keep growing, but remember that your first job is a writer, your second job is as a researcher. But you really want to focus on writing first before you start exploring other roles that you can take. I'm just trying to make you guys aware that your job role and job description has a lot of other things. Is there internship role for copywriting? Yes, there are internship roles for copywriting. LinkedIn has a bunch of them that pop up a lot actually. So you kind of can, browse through LinkedIn to find a copywriting job that you like. You can as well start by yourself. Can someone work as a proofreader only? This question is kind of for our heavy readers. Like I said again, focus on getting experience as a writer. Proofreading is a very simple thing. Almost anybody can do proofreading because all you're doing is just like they said, checking for grammatical errors to make sure you see what you're doing. Does editing pay more than writing? Most likely not. Writing is still the heavy task, but it depends. If you're a chief editor and you're managing, I don't know, 10 different writers below you, you're going to earn more than them because you're managing all of them. But like I said again, your first focus should be on writing, gain experience as a writer, write a variety of things so that you can have experience when you want to move into editing, possibly later down the line. Do we really need to employ the services of a copy editor? Like I said, ChatGPT is a very useful. It's a very useful place for you to go and get some of the things you want to do. Yeah, the recording will be available after the class. Can a copywriter concentrate only on product descriptions? Yeah, but why would you want to limit yourself to only product descriptions? Product description is a nice thing to write, but for me, that almost sometimes I only write product descriptions when I'm bored or I've not found something I'm interested in writing. Don't limit yourself only to one thing because it's kind of simple and it might be short. Do you get me? Around in the business industry, like I think towards the big ending of before we went on a break, there was a lot of things I explained that you can do as a writer. You can write for NGOs, you can write speeches, you can write scripts, you can write a lot of things. To be honest. All right, I think we've kind of really reached. You didn't answer. Wait, okay, wait. Can I write product description for services? Yeah, you can write product description for services. You can. Yeah, you can write product description for services, but you'll be almost working with individual clients, right? Now, for the video, is there time? You see, this is the thing. I don't think we have time for this video. I don't think I can upload it. We have a few minutes left before we end the class. I'm not sure if you guys will be able to hear the audio. Let me see. Maybe in the next class, when I download the video, we wait. Like you're very interested in this video today. Oh. Let me see if I can share my screen and see if the video will play. Again, I'm not sure I can do this thing. Let me see. Is it possible to take a look at blog? Is it possible to look at the blog I'm creating on Wix to access it? When we're doing the content management class, that would just be everybody's assignment. I can look at everybody's blog and their blog ideas then. But not now. This time is already very far spent. I do actually want to show you guys this video, but kind of not quite sure if I can. Is it necessary to write product description or catering services or restaurants? Is it necessary to write product description for catering services or a restaurant? Yeah, it is. Ella is like, Ella, you don't have exam today or tomorrow. That's why, yeah, really this thing. Thank you. All right, let's try and take a look at this video. If I share my screen, will you guys get the audio? We'll see if you guys can get the audio if I share my screen. So it's a call to action, right? But this is one of my favorite pages because all right, let's see if the video plays. Can everybody hear? Can everybody hear? Okay, so we've even had to come to an end.